Okay, welcome to this section. I would like to talk more about the snapshots, and I want to see how we can work with the snapshots to create a new AMI image. So we worked with the snapshots before. We know that we can create our own private AMI images. Today, what I would like to do is we are actually going to copy the base snapshots that we take from one of our EC2 instances and from one of the volumes to another locations. I want to show you how we can transfer snapshots, or in another way, how we can transfer a base image for our EC2 instances to another locations inside the AWS infrastructure, and how we can build a new instance based on that image. So by default, one thing that we should be aware is that the root volumes are all of our EC2 instances, and anything from the marketplace inside the AWS is not encrypted. What we can do is we can take a snapshots and transfer the snapshots, and we can convert it to an encrypted one, and then we can start using that image. And after that, anytime that we are using that image, the root volume of that image is encrypted. So let's go to the console and start configuring these options. So I'm inside AWS console. I'll go to the EC2 instance. If you remember, we spin up a bunch of EC2 instances here. I actually terminated all of them here except this web server 01 that we used to use it as a web server. So if you remember, we installed very basic Linux machine and we installed Apache web server on this server, and now this is basically a web server. We can easily take a snapshot from this machine and then start playing with that snapshot. So this is my candidate right now, and the machine is stopped, and this is actually a good thing. Whenever you want to take any snapshots, we have to make sure that the snapshot is consistent. If the machine is running, then we may have, if we take the snapshots while the machine is running, we may have a situation that the snapshot is corrupted and it's not consistent. So the best practice is to stop the EC2 instance and then take a snapshot. It's easy if you remember. So we can go to the volume, to the EBS volume that is attached to this EC2 instance right now, and then start taking the snapshots. From here, we can see that this is the root device connected to this EC2 instance. You just need to click on your EC2, and inside the property here, down here, you can see that the drive is in dev xvda. This is actually the path of the device. You can go to the left side to the EBS Elastic Block Store and click on the volumes. Because I have right now just one EC2 instance and the rest are terminated, we can see that EBS volume here easily. Doesn't matter, you can click on that link and you will end up here, but this is actually the path. You can see dev xvda. This is the path and it is attached to this EC2 instance. This is the ID and this is the name that we put on the EC2 instance. Anyway, I'm going to right click on this EBS volume and I'm going to create a snapshot. It's pretty easy. I just call it my web server snap, and I give it a tag name snapshot, for example, and then I'm going to create the snapshots. This is the snap ID. If I close and go back, this is our volume, and I'm going to snapshots, and you can see that the snapshot is in pending and is creating the snapshots. I'm going to give this a little bit time. I'll come back later. Okay, it just took around 1 minute, and after that, the snapshot is completed. So what we can do right now is, so this is the snapshot of a web server, right? Again, in a nutshell, we are having a web server here, because I built this one in the previous videos, and I SSH to the Linux machine and I installed the HTTPD from the YAM repository, and now this is a web server. This web server is actually using this EBS volume, and this EBS volume is the one that we took the snapshots on it, and now this snapshot here is actually a base snapshots for a web server. And the location of this snapshot is currently, if you look at here, I am in the US West, the region actually. And now what I would like to do, this is US West, I want to transfer this snapshots to another region and start building another EC2 instance in another region. What I would like to do is I want to actually play with the snapshots, and I want to change it a little bit too. So as you can see, it's not encrypted. It's showing me that this snapshot is not encrypted. I want to change it in a way that I can encrypt this volume, and after that, whenever I try to build any machine from that image, I want to have an encrypted one. So what we can do is, first thing, I want to transfer it somewhere. So I'm going to right click on this snapshot, and I have the copy option. As you can see, I can delete the snapshots. I can create a new volume based on this snapshot. It's going to be exactly another web server for another volume for a web server, but it is not encrypted. And I can create another image, and it's going to end up in the AMI as we've seen this before. And you can build other EC2 instances from this image, but again, it's not encrypted. I can copy it, modify permission, and add some text. So I'm going to click on the copy. And we are in the US West Oregon. We can give it a name, whatever you like. You can select where you want to transfer this machine. And this is a good option actually here. While you are transferring this snapshot, you can say, I want to encrypt this snapshot. So we are in the Oregon. I'm going to select, let's say I want to transfer it to US East, Northern Virginia. So it's going to be in US East, far away from US West. I select this one and I'm saying let's encrypt it. And actually it's going to use a master key inside the AWS, and it's going to encrypt this one. And I'm going to click on the copy. So this is going to take a while. I'm going to wait for this copy, and then I'll go and check to see how is the copy process inside Northern Virginia region. So let's take a look right now in the Northern Virginia. As you can see, there's a copying in progress here. It's in the pending status. It's 8 gigabytes. So this is actually the snapshots that we took in another region. We took this snapshots in US West Oregon, and now we are transferring it to US East Northern Virginia. It's going to take a while, but the interesting thing is this is an encrypted snapshots. I'm going to pause this video and wait for a while. So let's wait to the status to change to green, and then we can build an image from this snapshot and start using it for building other EC2 instances. Okay, so the copy is done, and the status is now green and is completed, and we are in the Northern Virginia, so we can start using these snapshots in another region, which is pretty good. What we can do is we can create a volume, or we can create an image based on this snapshot. So I'm going to create an image, and I'm going to give it a name, for example, encrypted image. I'm going to give it the same description and leave the rest as default. But one interesting thing is that the volume now it is encrypted. So by default it wasn't encrypted, now this one is encrypted. I'm going to create an image from this one. If I go to the images AMI here, now I can see that there is an AMI here image here. It is private, and this one is actually encrypted. If I spin up anything from this guy here, if I launch any EC2 instance, I can select whatever I like, for example, and if I go to the next, leave everything with default settings, in the storage side we can see that this is an encrypted volume. It's pretty good because the volume is a root volume now and it is encrypted. So we had two different purposes here. We basically changed the root volume to encrypted, and we basically transferred the image or the snapshots to another region, which is a pretty good thing. It was really fast. It was less than 5 minutes actually. So if I go back to the EC2 console here, you remember whenever we want to launch an instance, we have so many options here. We have quick start, we have my AMIs, which is this one that we've just built it, and we have other options here like in the marketplace and AMI communities. We can choose whatever we like, but make sure that you understand that all of these images here, they are not encrypted on the root volume. If you want to encrypt them, you have to do something like this. You have to take a snapshot, you have to encrypt that one, and you have to try to build your own AMI image that it has the encrypted volume. For finishing this section, I would like to emphasize that because the root volume is encrypted, you have to make sure that how the encryption is working, because you may not be able to use this DBS volume on the new EC2 instances, and you have to do some stuff related to the decryption of the volume. But anyway, before finishing this section, I would like to do some cleanups, because if you remember, we built some stuff here, right? So I'm going back to the EC2 console, and here we have our AMI image that we built here in the North Virginia. I'm going to deregister this one, make sure we don't have anything running here, and also I'll go to the snapshots and delete the snapshots that we copied from the West Coast to the East Coast. Make sure that you don't have anything, no snapshots, no volumes, because for EBS volumes you have to pay for them. And I don't have anything here because mostly I'm going to work on this US West Oregon region. So make sure that you are doing the cleanup. That's it for this section. And if you don't have any questions, I'll see you in the next one.